Hi guys, today I'm going to be showing you how I got this mermaid siren makeup. This has been my go-to every day. I love a full glam, and I do really natural looks in the summertime, but when it's spring and the weather's still cool, I like to go all out. So I start by putting my hair back. Do you guys like my new hair color? Shout out to my girl McKenna here in Columbus. She did it for me. First, I prep my skin, so I use the Tula 24/7 Moisture Intense. This is my new favorite moisturizer. Again, in the summer, I'll probably go with like a gel moisturizer, but it's my favorite. And then the Vacation Classic Whip SPF 30 is my favorite to protect my face from aging from the sun, but also to prime. It creates a really smooth base for my foundation to stick to, and I feel like whenever I wear it, people ask me what I use to prime with, or they freak out about my foundation when I think it's like partially that. I also like to do a little under eye cream to help with puffiness, and Dr. Pawpaw to get my lips nice and moisturized. I have to show you guys this abomination. So I don't regret microblading my eyebrows, but I do, but I don't. Here's why. So you can see the tail is actually like a lot lower, and that's because that's where my eyebrows naturally go. But if you notice up close, I shave the tail of my eyebrows off so that I can kind of modify how I draw on the tail of my brows to give it more of a lifted look. And I dyed my eyebrows, obviously, to match my hair. And of course, the microbladed part obviously cannot be dyed. It's my skin. But I went ahead and dyed anyway because I figured it would be a lot easier for me to blend my brows when my hair matched. And then I could use concealer, obviously, to cover up other areas of the tattoo. So here is me using my Morphe, I think it's the color almond. Actually, I think it's the color almond. It's just a warm toned brown, but this is what I use to kind of fill out my brows. It's a lot softer. I used to use Java. That was my favorite micro brow pencil, but now I've switched to like a warm tone. I also use a NYX brow pencil. I have it somewhere around here, and I'll tell you guys what it is later when I discover the color. I'll also link all the products below if you guys want to know. It's the NYX Blade and Shade micro brow pencil in the color Rich Auburn. Those are the two colors I use for my brows. And then I just use my Tarte Shape Tape to carve it. You see, I erased the microbladed tail so that I could lift my brows up a little bit. And I don't do this every time, but it's just been the makeup style that I currently like. I use Tarte Shape Tape in the color 275. That's the light medium sand, because I don't want it to be too ultra white. And don't come for me because my body is self-tanned. So my face, I wear SPF and I do not put self-tan on my face. So my foundation is going to be warmer than my skin tone right here. And that's because my face is so much paler than the rest of my body. So here's me finishing up shaping my brows. I try to make it a little wispy if I can, but coloring it, I think, closer to my hair color now. I've never been like a dye my brow with my hair color type of girly, but with the red, my brows were just a little bit too harsh, to be honest. So we warmed them up a little bit. And of course, I always clean up and carve my brows because I'm completely changing the shape of my microblading. And you can see I spot concealed with my concealer and I let it completely dry down. So you'll even see that it's not really blending. It's not meant to. It's meant to almost be like a band-aid underneath my foundation to counteract any discoloration or redness or kind of hide any blemishes I have. So this is my favorite foundation. It has been for years. It's the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Color Correcting Full Coverage Cream. The color that I'm using is, let me see if I can find the color. I really don't know what color it is, but this is my favorite foundation because it's super glowy and I can build on the color. I'll link it below if I can figure out whatever color it was. Yeah, I don't know the color. I can't even find it. But I like to do my brows first because my brow gel I used, if you guys saw, I kind of like almost laminate them with the Benefit 24-hour brow setter. And I like to do it first because if I do it after, then it gets a ton of foundation in the bottle, and that's like not my favorite thing. And it makes your foundation look kind of crusty, I'm not gonna lie. But it is the best brow setter in my opinion because it lasts all day. I hate when I set my brows and they look bomb and then I like basically fill in the areas where I've where I've kind of laminated them, and then the lamination fails, and then there's a bunch of like brow product above my brows. It doesn't look good when it fails. So also these little Morphe finger puffs are my favorite for blending in, one, small areas, and two, just concealer in general. It allows like a lot more control. So, and it's like I think it's like it's like under $15 for a pack of 3. So these are the bomb. I keep them in my purse. I take them everywhere I go to touch up my makeup, and you guys will see it's what I use to blend my concealer under my eyes. But here is me just blending. Oh, and I got my hair done with a Scandinavian like money piece, and I'm noticing it is so hard to blend foundation or bronzer or anything like that, any cream contour, because it just goes in my hairline. This is that same Shape Tape I was using earlier, and I'm going in with concealer. I do love, like I said, I love the natural look. I know we just do a little concealer on the inside and outside of our eyes now. I feel like this is like aging me, like for people to understand like my generation. But I've been loving a bright under eye. Shout out Alabama Barker, because that girl, her under eyes are so bright. But it's just the spring in me. I love a glam and I love a bright under eye. I love looking like super dolly like. So I put this on and I let this dry down. I didn't show that, but I wait like 3 minutes. I feel like it offers a little bit more of a full coverage. And if I blend it right away, it's so creamy, it kind of just like soaks up into the sponge. So let it dry down for a second, then blend that baby in. And I also learned that copying like exactly someone else's concealer like application style doesn't work on everybody, because everybody's face is shaped differently. So this is just what I like to do right now. I feel like it complements my face shape and it helps contour my face the way that I like. So here's me just blending, and then I'm going to cream contour. And what I use to cream contour is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Magic Eraser, I think is what it's called. Instant Age Rewind Eraser. And I forgot to say that I just really quickly set under my eyes with the Laura Mercier pressed translucent powder. That's not me like baking or like lightening my under eyes at all. You'll see that I also will use a brightening powder, but that is just to make sure, since I just put concealer, it won't crease. So Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser, and I will link the color in the product description. And then I also use a Morphe brush to blend this out. That is like, the Morphe brush is like the game changer. I feel like using a blender, it just gets blotchy and muddy and looks terrible. So this is how I blend it out. And I didn't show it, I don't think, but I do take it down my neck a tiny bit. I don't like contour my jawline, because girl, if you're still contouring your jawline, just don't. Because it looks terrible in pictures. In person, it looks terrible. Just don't do it. So if you have a little product left on your brush, then you can kind of do a little shadowing and chiseling under the jaw and pull it down your neck so that it obviously blends, but don't go crazy. Here's me setting it again. The Laura Mercier translucent setting powder is the best. I get compliments all the time on the finish of my makeup, and it's because, 1, this makes it so your foundation doesn't budge. 2, it makes it so you're not oily, and 3, it gives like a very, very airbrushed finish. It makes everything look smooth and poreless, and it almost is like a filter, but real life skin. So whenever I get like filter accusations every time I'm wearing it. But then I use the Morphe brightening pink bacon set, and yep, I'm baking. Okay, I'm baking. I like my eyes super bright, like I said, and this has a light pink undertone, and I feel like it just really brightens up my under eyes. So I use that under my eyes, and I use that under my cheekbones to kind of contour a little bit, or I guess highlight and accentuate my contour, just to give me that super chiseled look. I have a super round face, a really square jawline, so anywhere I can use makeup to kind of shape my face up, I'm going to. So here's me just putting that underneath, and this powder blends out so well because it's super duper fine, so that's why I love it. You can see under my eyes, it's kind of already just melting into my concealer. But then I use my MAC bronzer, and this is in the color Deep Golden. It's the skin finish, and I use this just to I use it to set my cream contour basically, and it kind of warms me up a little bit more, but it makes it so that there's nothing super harsh if I forgot to blend or didn't blend good enough. It just gives adds to the airbrushed kind of look, making all the makeup melt together. And if you are just cream contouring and you're not setting it with a bronzer, it's just gonna rub. It's gonna like fade off your face, and sometimes it doesn't fade evenly. So you're gonna look blotchy if you even get slightly oily. And so this is something I haven't been skipping. This is the NYX Buttermelt. I don't know the color because it literally rubbed off. It rubbed off. But this is my favorite blush. I've used tons of different blushes, and I have found you don't have to splurge on blush. Blush is something you can keep super duper simple. And so this is my favorite blush. You can see, look at how well it just like blended right into everything else I was working with. Then I go in, this is the Morphe M431. This is the best brush for contouring your nose, and I contour my nose in this little H, okay? And I actually started doing this in like 2021 because this is like what Instagram filters do, and I was like, what are they doing to my nose? It's this. They add this little like contour, and it's a tiny little H on your nose, and I do it with my bronzer, and then I do it with a tiny bit of blush on top of it. So I make that H, and then I blend it all out with a little bit of blush if I'm going to do faux freckles, which is what I'm doing right now. This is like the Revlon, what's it called? It's called Revlon Semi-Permanent Brow Ink Color Stay. It is, I got this one to use on my brows, but this makes the cutest faux freckles. So you put it on, and then you kind of blend it out, and as you blend it out, it like multiplies the freckles. So if you put like 3 freckles and then you like dab it out, you'll have like 12 freckles, you know. So I use it to make little freckles, and then you see where I made that H on my nose? I'm actually going to follow that H with freckles, and it's kind of going to help accentuate my nose contour without my nose contour just being like a harsh like brown line. Instead, it just looks like my little faux freckles kind of naturally follow the shape of that, so it just kind of adds to the shape of my nose, if that makes sense. I love this little trick. I felt really freckly. I love like certain days, some days I don't do freckles at all. Some day, especially with like the warm toned like ginger hair, I've been loving the faux freckles, I can't lie. But sometimes I do a couple freckles, sometimes I stick to my nose, sometimes I do my cheeks, sometimes I bring it up like this into my eye a little bit. But today I was feeling super freckly. I don't know what it was. I think it was the blush look on my nose. But if you're going to do faux freckles, just make sure wherever you put them, you are warming the area with a tiny bit of powder bronzer and blush first, so it looks like the area is sun-kissed, because I feel like that makes faux freckles look so much more natural, because typically like we get freckles on areas where the sun is kind of kissing us a little bit more. So if I'm going to put freckles all over my nose, you can see I'm going to put a little bit of blush and bronzer there, just so it looks slightly sunburned. I feel like that's what makes them look super cute on your face, not super harsh. So here's me just following the freckle pattern. I just do what feels right. This was not planned. This makeup look wasn't something I was pulling inspo from. I just was sitting down and doing my makeup. For the most part, this is my everyday makeup. This freckly isn't, but I usually, like, I would say 50% of the time, I do freckles. So then I'm just going to highlight. I do my tip of my nose, and then I like focus up here at the very top of my bridge, and then right at the top of that little H I drew, just a tiny little dot. That's where I contour, or where I highlight on my nose. I always highlight my inner corners just because all that setting kind of makes you look matte and flat. And so basically I like to add anywhere I can add a tiny bit of shimmer back in. It's just going to make you look dewier and more like wet, if that makes sense. A little bit more like naturally oily, because we are just naturally oily looking. So anywhere I can add a tiny bit of highlight back is going to help make it not look as harsh and flat. Then I'm using, this is a Morphe palette. Which one is it? I was using 2 separate Morphe palettes. It was the Artistry, it was 2 different Artistry palettes, and I don't know if they have like names on them, but I just use like a warm tone, any warm tone brown, just because I feel like if you have green eyes, warm tone browns look so great. I deepened it with a little bit of a darker brown, you can see, but I didn't like go super hard or smoky or anything. And then I put that warm tone brown, almost reddish brown under my eyes to kind of blend it out just so it looks all melted. That's like the goal, is to look melted. I like to look super sun-kissed, and I like everything to blend together, nothing super harsh. We're not doing cut creases anymore, but I like a bright, obviously, inner corner. So here's me doing that with another color in one of those palettes. It was like a super light peachy, like it's got a little bit of a pink undertone. So I just add that to the inner corner. I'm not making any like sharp shapes or anything like that, but I just kind of drag it from my inner corner onto my lid just to, again, add dimension to my eyelid so it's not all just like a messy, like bronzed up look. And it also just makes your eyes look super bright and big, I feel like. So this has been something I love doing with my everyday makeup. Okay, and then another thing I've been doing in all of my everyday makeup looks is doing a shadowed wing. So this is so much softer than like a harsh black wing. Don't get me wrong, I still love a super harsh black wing. I do love that. But this just, especially, I have downturned eyes, and I like really snatched, siren-y looking eyes, hence why I draw my eyebrows on like that. So adding a tiny bit of lift on the outer corners is going to, one, make it so that I can camouflage the way that I put my lashes on, which you'll see later. But two, it just kind of helps me alter the shape a little bit and make me look a little bit more uplifted. Shadow also just kind of makes it look like your eye is, because you know, a wing is so harsh that it just obviously looks like you've added a wing, but adding a brown shadow instead, it just kind of almost makes it look like your eyes are that shape, like instead of it just looking like a harsh line. So I do 2 wings on the outer corner. Nothing super, it's literally just right on the outer corner, and I kind of blend it right onto the lid, but it's mainly just the outer corner. And then I love doing a super micro tiny little wing on the inner corner. This elongates my eyes because, like I said, I have super round little puppy dog eyes, which I love my eyes, don't get me wrong, but there's certain looks I like to go for, and this is the best way to make my eyes look really snatched. And the key to these is keeping them as small as you can. It's really easy to keep pulling them out and dragging them out farther and farther because you want them to be pointier, this, that. But like, try your best to keep them, like, you're going to be like, this is too small. No one's going to notice. They will notice. Keep them small. This is the Urban Decay Waterline Liner in the color Tootsie. They sent me all their waterline liners, and I gotta say, I love them. They stay on so good. They glide on so easily. Like, I hate a waterline liner that you have to like just dig into your eye to get any pigment payoff. These just glide right on and stay on and don't come off. And this color Tootsie is so pretty because it's not, again, not like a harsh black. It's just a little cool toned brown. And then I'm putting a little bit of shimmer because why not? This wasn't planned. Again, I was like, I need a little shimmer. So here is just a little peachy kind of shimmery color that I'm putting on the area that I lightened on my lid. And this is just going to open up the eyes and give it like a super girly little pop. Here's the eyes before adding any lashes. And before I add my lashes, I like to curl. The reason I was really curling though is because at first I was planning on just doing an outer corner lash, and then I just switched up the whole thing. This is the Maybelline Lash Sensational, the best mascara in my opinion, because my lash, no matter what mascara I use, no matter how much I spend, it's going to transfer out of my skin. I don't know why, but my mascara will get on my lids like throughout the night. This one doesn't. This is a Kiss lash. I don't know the number. I'm going to link it below if you like them. But here's the thing. It's 2. They're doubled up. I decided to go bold. After that glitter, I decided to go bold. So this is a Kiss lash. I doubled them up, and I will link them if you like them. But as you can see, going with that same lifted technique, I do not put the end of my lashes on my lash line, because then it just kind of contradicts the wing that I drew. So I like lift the ends of my lashes up, and then in the gap there I put a little bit of dark black like matte liner to kind of camouflage that gap. I also didn't show that I put a little bit of mascara on my lashes and pinched them with the falsies so that it kind of again closes that gap up. And then this is the NYX. This is the NYX liner, longwear liner. I don't know the color. I will link it below. But I really like this combo for lips was so cute. This is a Revlon nude pink lips, like cream lipstick. It blended perfectly with the NYX lip liner. I thought it was like the cutest little color combo, especially because the eyes were slightly, they're not like harsh, but the eyes are very eye-catching, and so a really neutral, like peachy nude lip was like perfect with this look, and I feel like it all tied in with the super warm goddessy kind of look. Then I'm going to top it all off my Tower 28 Daily Rescue Facial Spray and put a little bit of that Maybelline Lash Sensational on the bottom lashes. This is like the biggest decision for me, is deciding whether I'm going to put mascara on my bottom lashes, and I decided to. So here's me adding or just accentuating beauty marks. I kind of just go over my favorite beauty marks that I already have, and then sometimes I'll create like one or two just to add to the, just add to the cunt. I feel like it just, just ties the look in. And then I decided we're going to do my hair. So again, look how cute this color is. My girl McKenna at Cocoa Blue Columbus literally killed it. But I'm going to do like a mermaid wave. This is the Marc Anthony Grow Long thermal spray. Very important if you're going to use heat. And then this is just, I'm going to link this exact waver. This is my favorite waver I got off Amazon. It creates huge mermaidy waves. And this is really like the first time I've been putting heat on this color because I'm so scared of putting heat on my red. I've got conditioner, color depositing masks. I've got the whole nine because I've heard that this is like the hardest color to maintain, this copper. But girl, I'm gonna maintain it. This is my color all summer. The only thing I don't know if I'll maintain is the hairline. Sorry, my man's talking to me. Is my little money pieces, because they're already growing. They grew like day 2, my roots were showing, and I'm like, dang, I don't know how long I can keep this up. And my makeup gets in it and stuff. But I do think that it's like the thing that makes the hair color super duper eye-catching. But all in all, the money piece and the color make my eyes like extra green. That's why I love it. And I've been wanting to do copper since like 2020, and I just decided to finally do it. So yeah, these little mermaid waves looked so cute with this makeup look. It's exactly what it needed. I feel like I sometimes will do my makeup and then my hair just falls short because I'm like, oh, my makeup's done, I don't need to do my hair. But girl, look at this. First of all, just the color. Oh my god, the color. My eyes have never looked this green, like, ever. But that is it for my makeup. This is like my everyday, honestly, right now. I hope you guys liked it. If you like these little get ready with me's, let me know, and I will be sure to film more. As always, thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.